So when you first got pregnant, I would have been divorced. You can't get divorced because you keep getting pregnant.
Not by me, man.
That's not your baby. You right. That's not your baby. Somebody else the daddy.
Do what you have to do for your child.
I am doing what I do for my child.
What do you do?
And I cannot go anywhere.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Even after acknowledging the paternity, Daddy at the podium can't shake off the doubt part.
You're summoning your boyfriend, Mr. Brown, for paternity test to prove that he is your 6-month-old son, Malachi's father.
Yes.
Mr. Brown, you say you stepped up when Malachi was born, but began to have paternity doubts because of Miss Parker's scandalous behavior.
Yes, Your Honor.
The whole doubt part started with the plaintiff disappearing out of the blue.
When we first started, Your Honor, the relationship was good. Later on in the relationship, I called her. I couldn't get in contact with her. I called her parents. I don't know shit. I called her dad. He was at work.
Wait, you had a relationship and it was going well, and then she disappeared?
Yeah, just one day I decided to call, and I was like,
Yeah.
she
Did you
didn't even
disappear,
tell me.
Miss Parker?
Object.
Yeah, right.
However, the interesting part was how Miss Parker defended her taking a powder episode.
I need to be free.
Free, I wasn't doing anything.
What you mean? I be
you
stuck with the
mean?
baby 24/7, honey. Because at the,
Oh, but I have to go to work and do stuff, so I'm supposed to be
You don't go to work.
24/7.
You all were in a relationship and it was
Correct.
going well. And then all of a sudden he says one day he calls you and nobody could find you.
he won't let
Oh
me
my
have
God,
no
you crazy.
friends. I just stuck in the house. He just want to lay up under me, and I cannot go
What?
anywhere.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All of which were hard for Mr. Brown to swallow.
If you're in
Insecure.
a relationship with somebody and was it a committed relationship?
Yes.
Miss Parker, why do you get missing without saying, hey babe, I'm...
Because I feel like he's insecure.
Insecure about
he
what?
He would not let me go anywhere.
But at some point it comes back together because you get pregnant.
Yeah, let's get to the pregnancy part.
I got pregnant around his 25th birthday. He didn't believe because it was $1 pregnancy test. I went to Grady
$1.
Memorial Hospital. I confirmed I was pregnant. I called him, talked about having other kids. At the end of the day, I feel like he won't trust me.
After she went to the doctor, were you happy about it?
I was happy.
Did you think that is my child? When did it change?
Nonetheless, things had changed. If they weren't, they wouldn't be standing at paternity court.
So you were with her while the baby was born?
I was in the delivery room.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
I didn't sign the birth certificate.
Did you have a doubt?
Yes, a 50% doubt.
So you couldn't bring yourself to sign the birth certificate because you knew you had a doubt. What was that doubt based on?
Then the dates, they're not adding up.
You said the dates are not adding up? What about the dates didn't add up?
She got pregnant during June. The baby was born in January.
And this is what the conception calendar said.
And take me back, you said, what about this time of this birth didn't add up to you?
That full-term pregnancy between 39 and 40 weeks.
I found out I was pregnant June 4th on his birthday.
You met on June the 1st.
Correct.
And you found out you were pregnant on June the 4th?
Yes.
So
I
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
But Mama claimed that her child was born early.
Malachi was born at 1,730 grams. So your testimony is that he was born early.
Very early.
That still doesn't...
The dates doesn't matter. You're still the father.
He is talking about now his doubt. He's saying you met on the 1st and you was pregnant on the 4th. Were you intimate
1,
with
2, 3,
any other
4.
men around that time?
Pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, don't you think that there was no other man involved in this case?
In the beginning of May, you had another guy number 2.
Yeah.
You're admitting that in the month,
I know it's Mr. Brown.
you know it's Mr. Brown's baby. If you were intimate with another man around that time, that it could potentially be his baby as well?
It's like an arrow.
Hold on, Miss Parker, Mr. Brown.
No, Your Honor.
Still, Miss Parker had her heart set on the defendant being the father.
You're saying when you met Mr. Brown, you were exclusively with him.
I ain't cheated on Mr. Brown. I was with Mr. Brown for 1 whole year.
What about the
Cheated
days
on
that you was
him.
going out when I told you no, don't go?
Mr. Brown, that's why you're asking for a lie detector test as well, because you feel like you can't believe anything that comes out of her mouth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Up next, the uncle of the baby got up to the stand.
Mr. Parker, what do you know about this situation?
He has insecurity problems. That's his child. I mean, look at the baby, look at him. Obviously, that's your baby. It's time to step up, be a man. Do what you have to do for your child.
I am doing what I do for my child.
What do you do?
Besides what you believe is a resemblance, what else do you know about this situation?
I
One at a
have
time.
never seen her with anybody else. She is in love with this man.
Judge Lake had this take on the whole situation.
Ultimately, you're saying that this is pretty much destroying your relationship.
Yes.
Explain.
He always claimed
Well,
that I'm
anyway.
with another guy when I'm not.
So, Mr.
Yeah,
Brown,
kept
you
going.
feel like this entire time you all been in a relationship, she's been entertaining other men as well.
Yes.
Your spidey sense is always on. And Mr. Brown doesn't know for certain whether or not he's the child's father.
Yes, I just want to be a family with him.
So the only thing we believe is true are the results. Let's get to them.
Your Honor, when I come back.
How come you? Oh,
I
when you
always
come
tell
back,
him.
not when you're going. It's a difference in coming back and going.
No, it's not.
So, Mr.
Going and
Brown,
coming back.
Mr. Brown, you are not Malachi's father.
Disturbingly, a woman suffering from cancer is looking for her paternity closure.
Since I got diagnosed in 2015 with cancer, I felt the need that I need to find out who my children's grandparents are. So if I passed away, I just want them to have a family that.
Even though the defendant was on the birth certificate, he still denied paternity.
Well, my mother told me that her ex-husband was Michael Davis. The defendant is my father. Also, family members have told me Michael Davis is my father, and also my birth certificate reads that.
Mr. Davis needed clarification about the plaintiff being his daughter.
I wasn't even around or even with her. I didn't even know I even had a daughter.
I objected. If you were married,
You are the legal father to a child born in the marriage.
pretty much that's what I was told.
And you are correct.
It's
So
bringing
it
me
was
pain.
your understanding that during the time you were born, they were still married.
Married to Miss McKinney's mother? That was the part where things got tricky.
Mr. Davis, you were married to Ms. McKinney's mother how long?
One day.
But they
we
lived
were
together.
The day we got married, I took off and I had to go back to work. And I went back home. My house was dark. And when I entered the house, I turned the lights on, acknowledged my wife. She in bed with two other guys.
Oh, that's the last thing you want to walk in on.
You just testified that on your wedding day, you came home, find your wife in the bed with two other men?
Yes, Your Honor.
And was that the end of your marriage at that point?
I realized that things was not gonna work out because things that, I didn't agree with he was doing. And so I left and I didn't see her no more after that.
And guess what? Miss McKinney is getting grandchild treatment from the alleged daddy's family.
At that time, I looked at his mom and his daughter. I felt like I looked just like them.
Who's in these pictures? I see you, and that's Mr. Davis's other daughter. And when you saw that picture, you felt like I look just like her. And this is Mr. Davis's mother.
Me and my grandma was close.
And she accepted you.
Yes.
Nonetheless, it turns out that there was another man already doing father duties.
Who raised you?
Roger Williams, he raised me.
So another man raised you.
Yes.
The other man could also be your biological
No,
father?
I put that in my head. Roger never told me that.
Still, the plaintiff was certain that husband for one day was her father.
Michael Anthony Davis is your father from everybody, even other men that's supposed to be the father. They always said Michael Anthony Davis is your father.
Mr. Davis, you believe that this man we're speaking about, Mr. Williams, could be Ms. McKinney's biological father.
I'm not for sure about that. I don't know.
And
I really don't know.
Mr. Williams was waiting outside the courtroom, so now it was his turn to testify.
Did you believe you were her biological father? What did her mom tell you about her pregnancy?
No, her grandmother had said something once before,
And what did she say?
that she looked it like me. And then me and her mom had problems and I left, when she was about 2. When she was about 18,
Mrs. Davis was also given a chance to give her slant on the situation.
So you understand that your husband has testified that he does not believe he is Ms. McKinney's biological father.
Why you say that? Just a couple days ago, you told me something different. Just tell me the truth.
We never doubted that she
that.
wasn't his daughter.
Amen.
You say amen when you agree, but your testimony is opposite of your wife's.
It's just too much for anyone to handle.
Can I just say this?
Yes.
It's not for me. I want to know for my kids. What if I'm dead? Where they gonna go?
Let's go to the result.
Mr. Williams, you are not her father.
Constant infidelity. Entitled Corey is suffering in all of this.
Mr. Lovett, you say Ms. Jackson is a manipulative cheater, and you say her affairs have caused you to doubt that you fathered her 15-month-old son, Corey Jr. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jackson, you say Mr. Lovett is definitely your son's father and is doubting paternity because of his needless insecurities. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's dive into the cheating part.
What evidence do you have that she cheated?
I come to the house. It was an ex at the house at the time. She told me it was her cousin.
I never told him that the
guy was my cousin. His sister was my cousin. He approached the house and he packed all his things and he left. Then he came back. Me and the guy were sitting outside on the back of his truck. He had just finished cutting my grass.
I painted.
If he would have cut the grass when he was there a couple days ago, another guy wouldn't have to.
So, unraveling this case isn't going to be easy.
The guy never came inside my house. We sat on the back of the truck.
Nobody should be over there.
That's what he came up and pulled up on.
Then that same guy ended up sending naked pictures to my phone.
Cause you asked him for
matter of fact, it was her phone. It was her phone. I was talking like I was at work.
Hold on, one at a time.
Quite a show these two got running here.
I had her phone. We switched phones that day. So I was texting the guy like I was her. And then he sent me a picture. The same guy that supposed to be my cousin.
Wait a minute now.
That's not true.
Is this the grass cutting guy?
Yes. The guy hit me up and said, hey, I never replied back. So he played like he was me. Did he enjoy my sex?
I didn't say that.
Hold on, Mr. Lovett.
Why do you doubt Mr. Lovett? Come to the real doubt part.
At the time Corey Jr. was conceived, you believe Miss Jackson was involved with someone else.
Right. I know that she went out with another guy.
That's what I need to know.
All right.
All right.
It was no baby around. Then some time go later, now you pregnant. Maybe because now you need a father figure for all your kids.
This trail is just getting messier than messy.
So when you first got pregnant,
I would have been divorced.
You can't get divorced because you keep getting pregnant.
Exactly.
Not by me, man.
You knew me, my facts, that I was married before we even got sexually intimate. If it was a problem, you should have just walked away.
Next, Miss Jackson confessed her mistake to the court.
I just wish that I could have got a divorce before we had kids. Because every time we get into an argument, he's always throwing up the fact that I'm still married.
She can't stay alone. And it shows whether I'm in her life or not, she gonna keep it moving.
It ain't my fault I look good.
You are a beautiful young woman, but you do have trouble being alone. That's not how you look on the outside, that's how you feel on the inside, babe.
After that, the judge called in the husband.
Is there any chance you are Corey Jr.'s biological father?
No, Your Honor. I just had two beautiful twins. I'm just waiting for my divorce for them two.
It's holding off both of our life. We both can't get divorced. He has another woman, I have another man. We can't get a divorce because this boy won't sign an affidavit.
If you got divorced, all the children she's had, they be presumed to be yours.
Yep.
Legal limbo, infidelity limbo, whatever you name it, it's just insanity going on here.
If something was to happen to me, he's their legal father. That's your son.
We have to think about while we're still having babies when we're in a legal situation. That's why today's results are so important.
Very important.
Hopefully, the result will end this once and for all.
Mr. Coleman, you are not his father.
Oh my God.
Do you need to sit down, Miss Jackson?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This grandma has just lost her son, and she wants no baby as a reminder.
Ms. Mangrum, you say the defendant, Ms. Schools, is claiming your deceased son is her child's father. Ms. Schools, you say you have no doubt that Mr. Mangrum fathered your child, and today you will prove it. How did you find out about Ms. Schools' pregnancy?
It was on June 23rd. She came up to me and she said, Miss Venus, my name is Amber, and I'm pregnant with Dominique's baby.
As painful as it sounds, things were also hard for the baby mama.
I actually wrote her on Facebook and told her, I was like, hey, Miss Venus, my name is Amber. I was like, I don't know if Dominique told you or not, but I'm actually 3 months pregnant with his baby. I'm downstairs in the hospital just to let him know that I'm here. I go upstairs and I see him hooked up to all these tubes and machines. And I sit down right beside him. She's rubbing on my back. Everything is gonna be okay, don't worry.
I don't remember none of that.
So, Grandma had a different recollection of the event.
The Facebook thing came after Dominique was already gone. I wrote you back.
You did not write me back. You came in the room, you said, I got your message.
I never told you that I got.
So hold on, I want to understand. You said you didn't get that. Well, of course, you're not checking Facebook when you're.
I told you. I didn't know how to get in contact with nobody.
Real dumb.
All right.
At that time, Miss Mangrum was more concerned about her son.
Somebody coming telling me that they pregnant by my baby? No, I wouldn't. At that time, I did not care. My son told me several times that there is about 3 or 4 girls who say they pregnant by him. Okay, I knew about 2 of the girls, but I never met Amber.
So there were 2 other baby mamas of Miss Mangrum's late son.
After the day in the hospital, you never got a chance to ask him about Miss Schools.
No.
So let's fast forward to when baby Dominique was born. During that time, do you keep in touch with Miss Mangrum and her family?
I kept them updated with everything. The second day I had my daughter. She came to the hospital.
The plaintiff had a very peculiar way of doubting the paternity on her grandchild.
I went there and then held the baby, and I took her hat off to look at her hair. And I says no. Said to myself, no.
All my babies come out with a head full of hair. A baby has two parents.
All Mangrum babies have a head full of hair.
Look at my baby. She got a head full of beautiful hair.
Dominique Samaya Mangrum is not related to Andre and Venus Mangrum.
I knew it.
Out of nowhere, Mr. Taylor is denying paternity, and baby mama is not having it.
My son was over his house. He was only over there 5 days, and he texted me like, you need to get your son, and I'm not getting him until I get a blood test. Here's some evidence.
Get your son. I'm not getting him till I get a blood test. Somebody told me what you said, so I don't want him till I get a blood test, RS. I don't need him another day.
Wow, father or no father, that's no way to act, is it?
Why did you send this out the blue?
It was actually a week ago. Me and my son was in the house playing around. A girl told me she had something to tell me about my baby mother. She said Ms. Johnson told another girl that Jaden wasn't mine. So I inboxed Ms. Johnson and told her I don't want him another day.
So you actually had Jaden at that time?
Yes.
At that point, you thinking this is my biological child, I'm spending time with my son.
But things are not that simple, are they?
Cause she always say stuff like that. Like she always say that he's not mine.
Heard her say that. I've never heard her say that. One
She
time.
has a recording saying she said he's not mine.
That's not your baby. You right. That's not your baby. Somebody else the daddy. Take him all the way completely off of your period.
Okay, that recording was very explicit.
This is you telling him it's not his child.
Yes, that's all in the blue on my...
If he's denying it, I mean, why wouldn't she say it?
So you believe, Ms. Johnson, that she's just talking out of anger?
Yes, I think that was all out of anger.
Now that is just hard to buy.
You didn't just say, let me come get my baby. You said, you right, it's not your baby.
Yeah, because he don't have to be. That's what I said.
Why do you think he'd make it up, Ms.
Because he don't want to step up to the plate and be a dad. He does nothing. He just, you know.
That's a lie.
What you
I
do?
everything.
Where's the proof?
I have a lot of proof. I sent.
Okay, where is it? Can you see it?
Oh.
You ain't got that?
So, back to the denying part.
Ms. Johnson, he never denied Jaden up until this point, about a week ago. You never heard that?
Yeah, I just heard rumors that he said it.
When the baby was born, they had their whole family, their daughters with the baby's fathers.
Were you all anticipating the birth of this baby because you truly thought it was your biological child?
Further, it appeared that there had been a DNA attempt before the show.
I went down there to take a DNA test. Ms. Johnson had told her that she was supposed to come with me. She never
He only
went
went
down there
because
to
child
take
support started sending them letters in the mail.
She never showed.
Yes, Your Honor.
You never showed up to get the DNA test done?
No.
Why?
I felt that it wasn't necessary. He wasn't denying him.
So you're saying he was not denying Jaden, so you felt like, what's the use of going to have it?
Right. I mean, yeah.
We all know that you are not the daddy part. Always comes back to bite.
That baby you've been with for 2 years, that's not your child.
Exactly.
She always says
It's
when we get
because-
into an argument.
When you get into an argument, Ms. Johnson confirms it.
Yes.
Have you said it more than one time, Ms. Johnson? I mean, you know, once you say that to a man, he's never gonna forget that. Men forget a lot of things, but they don't forget that. And honestly, how could they?
However, the baby mama was sure about her conception date.
I ran away from my mom's house. He knows it.
We didn't have sex that day. We had
So what?
sex
But
the
you
next
just,
day.
and you already told the conception date.
Well, did you know that she ran away to his house?
She actually ran away. Yolanda's never at home, so she didn't know who's in her house. I didn't abandon my child. I never would.
The game of truth or dare has led you to paternity court.
Still, the court is the place of tough questions.
Were you intimate during that time with anyone else besides Mr. Taylor?
No. How would you know? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you know?
She was promiscuous. She was known to be
like you.
This is a difficult situation. What are you hoping for?
To be honest, I just want to get it over with and want to know if he is, or if he isn't, then I won't be there. But if he is, I've been there his whole life.
Let's get Jaden that result.
Mr. Taylor, you are the father.
Like I told you.
I'm going easy on you both because you ain't nothing but young people